Hello YouTube and welcome back to Let's Play Untitled 6. So right now I am recording the audio after the video, of course. I just realized there's kind of a way that I could record the audio at the same time as the video, but then I'd have to like re-sync the audio and the video to make sure that they play at the right time. But this way, I'm just actually watching the video while I'm recording it, or while I'm recording my audio. So I should probably tell you that I am trying out the Chimps Mode, which is the true test of a BTD master, blah blah blah. Basically the hardest mode you could possibly make. And I will say I gave it one attempt, and I have to make a correction. I replied to someone's comment, Cosmic's, I believe it was Cosmic, it might have been Jar Jams. I'm confused now. I believe it was Jar, actually not Cosmic. Anyways. I was replying to their comment saying that I literally lost on the first wave of chimps, but actually looking back at the footage I realized, no, actually I made it a couple waves, but the reason I was thinking I died on the first wave is because all I was able to do was place this one hero monkey, and then like I didn't even have enough money. I guess I could have used a dart monkey, which probably would have saved me, but I mean like I couldn't even use like a ninja or anything, and then I already didn't make it. Like it, I probably should have just used dart monkeys. Now that I'm really thinking about it. But anyways, so I was just recording this on my lunch break, and I figured, okay, well if I can't do chimps, then how about Impoppable? Because I did actually beat Impoppable on this map, you know, easy map. With monkey knowledge and all that, which I didn't actually show you guys what monkey knowledge I have, and I'm also kind of assuming you already have this game and know what I'm talking about. So this guy, Oben Greenfoot, he's my favorite hero because one, he's the only one cheap enough to buy right off the bat, and two, he's basically like a really good wizard, but also kind of like a spike factory. Kind of, because he can lay down those brambles, like the thorn bushes or whatever, and they do go away kind of quickly, but you can also place them pretty quickly. So whenever I'm playing with or using Oben, I tend to just spam that thing. And I was also kind of double checking with the audio because I don't normally play with sound because I normally play when I'm at work, and I tend to just, you know, mute the phone while I'm playing and on my downtime and all that. So yeah, I don't like that the heroes speak English. Like I understand that in any game where like the monkeys are talking to you or whatever, or like in Bloons Super Monkey 2 or whatever, like obviously the monkeys are speaking English, but you never actually hear them speak English, and I don't know, I just don't like it. I kind of wish I could turn off the voices and then maybe still have the sound effects or something, because if I do play with sound, I either don't use a hero or I tend to just mute the sound effects because I can't stand listening to them speaking all the time, which is of course no offense to the actual voice actor that did it or anything. I don't mean to say that like it's bad voice acting, it's just it's very distracting because it's not what I normally anticipate in a game like this. But anyways, as you can see there, the Ninja Monkey and all the towers in general has 3 different upgrade paths, which really does change up the whole dynamic of upgrading and figuring out which towers to use and how to upgrade them and everything. Because normally well not normally, but I mean in Untitled 5, when there's only 2 upgrade paths, it's really just that like 3rd tier and usually 4th tier that you really have to worry about in terms of like making a decision of, do I get a bionic boomer with a bunch of attack speed, or do I go for the glaive ricochet so we can cut through all those long streams of balloons real easily. And a lot of towers, in my personal opinion, were kind of like, okay, this one is really good, and whenever you use that tower you go that path, and then the other path is kind of like, okay, maybe there's use for it. Like in my opinion, that's kind of how I saw it. But now that there's 3 paths, it really does like increase that sort of what's the term? It was an economics term. Dang it, I forgot the term. It was some kind of, oh man. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I don't want to take too long to stop and think about it. But the opportunity cost. Yes, I knew if I kept thinking about it, I would come back to it. Opportunity cost, where to explain it with this game as the example, that wizard monkey. I just bought the fireball while I already had the monkey sense, I think, or at least the intense magic or whatever. So I bought the bottom two paths, so the top path was closed off. So it's basically a choice of, do I want to use the fire so he can actually pop lead, or do I want to use the more arcane magic to make him just better at popping balloons in general? Which is an interesting choice because the wizard used to be able to just pop lead no matter what, if I remember correctly. But now he needs the the fireball in order to pop lead. Thankfully, Oben Greenfoot is able to pop lead normally or naturally, so I don't have to worry too much about lead. But then, you know, like always, the wizards or the monkey apprentice has to have an upgrade to be able to see camo blooms. But what I really like is the shimmer ability, which gets rid of the camouflage on the balloon entirely, which is really useful. However, I tend to not use it when I know I'm just going to be using a lot of other wizards or ninja monkeys, or like other towers that have camo detection. Because, like, I mean, obviously if everything else already has camo detection, you don't really need to get rid of the camo on the balloons. But then on the other hand, I really like the tier 4 on that path. The, like, balloon necromancer is just awesome. And, oh no, I was defeated on round 40. And I was like, you know what, I'm on my lunch break. I don't have a lot of time to record this. I'm just going to use a continue, I think. I think I use a continue. Yes? Did I not use it? I didn't use a continue. I could have sworn I tried using a continue on that. But anyways, looking at the monkey knowledge, I have all the paths, or all the knowledge on the magic monkeys and the heroes, because I kind of thought I'd be using those a lot. But then as I was upgrading all the magic monkeys, I realized that I was just, I was really just using, whatchamacallit, the primary monkeys a lot. But anyways, because of course it was hours ago, I don't remember what I did in this video. And because of how I'm recording the video, like recording my audio while watching it, I can't really like fast forward through the video. So anyways, this is now my second attempt at Impoppable, I believe. I probably should have like watched this video again and remembered what I did, and then just like edited that first attempt out. But anyways, also, was it on Impoppable or was it just on regular hard that I lost? I don't remember. But I know that the strategy that I was going for on that other attempt wasn't really that good, because it didn't have any like specifically anti-Moab abilities. Because the main thing, if you remember from Bloons Cyber Defense 5, that I would go for is you need something to pop lead, you need something to pop camo, you need something to pop Moabs. Obviously that isn't limited to a single balloon or a single tower, but it usually does kind of end up being just one or two towers that are specialized for those types of popping or whatever. And here, the dart monkey, I really like the crossbow. I think it's a really interesting thing for the dart monkey to have, because it basically makes him like a close range sniper, if that makes sense. But anyways, so here, I know I needed some camo detection. Of course, I only needed it by like round 24, so obviously I'm getting it really early. But and then of course I just wanted the regular awesomeness of the crossbow master, or not master, just crossbow training. I forgot what it was called. But I think what I was gonna go for on this round was more of the primary targets. But okay, here, I'm pretty sure it's a known issue, but I don't know what exactly the issue is, that I'm clicking on that check mark. Like, I double check like 50 times that I am hitting that check mark. I am trying to place a banana farmer or a monkey farmer, whatever it's called, like in that spot so that I can use the farms without having to worry about tapping on it all the time. But it's not placing. And I have placed a banana farmer before, but I don't know what I did to make it work. Like, it was just a lot of random, like, trying again and again and again, and then eventually it would pop up. So I don't know what the issue is exactly that stops me from being able to use the monkey farmers, which makes me not want to use the banana farm very often. And I don't know what it is, but this round, or this game, it feels like the rounds are a lot faster. Like, I don't know exactly how much shorter the games are, like successful game, but I mean, it feels like things move a lot faster. Like, I don't have as much money to spend, which kind of makes sense because I know on Bloons Star Defense 5 I was using double cash a lot. So obviously if I'm not using double cash, I'm gonna have a lot less money to work with. But then again, the monkey village was really nerfed. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it by default increases or decreases the amount of money you spend on the towers within its range. You have to actually purchase that upgrade in order to save money, and you only save money on like the first 2 or 3 tiers of upgrades. And it's like most of those upgrades are really cheap anyways. Like, the range isn't that amazing on the monkey village, so you're gonna end up spending more money on the village than you're saving on the towers inside of it. So I don't know. I mean, I was basically, that exact argument was written on the forums. It was, I mean, it's kind of hard to phrase that any differently, but I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's enough about the monkey village. I guess got my 2 crossbow dart monkeys, which I don't know. I mean, it's always one of those things where I don't realize how awesome dart monkeys are until I actually just use them and like rely on them. Then I realize, oh dang, they're actually pretty good. But I am focusing on the crossbow dart monkeys because, kind of like snipers, they do like 3 damage per shot most of the time, and then like that extra crossbow training, or like sniper crossbow, has a chance at critically hitting, which I don't think I gave any of them yet, to do like double damage, I think. So that's what I've got. If I've got 3 of them, that's like 9 damage on a Moab per shot, and they fire pretty quickly. And then of course I got that Moab Mauler, just to be safe. So it kind of struggles with the Moab. So I'm like, okay, I definitely gotta crank this up a notch and bring out another Moab Mauler. Because yeah, another thing that's interesting is now the first Moab shows up on round 40, which is now where the easy mode ends, on round 40. So that's part of what makes it feel so much faster, is I know round 24 is camo, round 28 is lead, and then round 40 is the Moab. And then pretty much from there on, you just need to increase all of your popping power in general. As far as I can tell, there's not a lot of rounds where you really need to pay attention, like, oh, the ceramic clumps on 55, and I don't know, maybe there are still ceramic clumps on 55, but they're not significant enough for me to remember them. But I know that there are maybe 1 or 2 of those rounds where it's like a ton of high-level camo or something like that. But anyways, so for me, right off the bat, you need general popping power, like the hero and like a ninja monkey or something. And then by like round 10, I have to start thinking like, okay, do I have camo detection? Do I need camo detection? Do I need to work on that? And then at round 20, I need to think, okay, do I have lead popping? I need to work on getting some good lead popping. And then once I hit round 30, it's like, okay, I need to get something that can pop a Moab. And then by the time I get to round 40 and pop that Moab, then it's just, okay, time to upgrade everything. Just build up, what do I want to do? Because there's so much variety in this game. Like, there's a lot of towers now have extra damage towards Moab, like the Boomerang Monkey now has the Kylie Boomerang. Well, technically it's the Moab Press upgrade that makes it do extra damage. I'm not actually sure if it does extra damage to the Moab or if it just pushes the Moab back. to give you more time to pop it. So there I am, just throwing all those Moab presses. Well, there's two. Actually, just now it's two. Two Moab presses to deal with the Moabs, which is really nice. And I've never really been a big fan of the Moab Mauler, because it's like, yeah, it does 10 times damage, but it doesn't fire that quickly, and it's not that useful against things that aren't Moabs. So I'm never really a big fan of the Moab Mauler. Even their activated ability, which like completely destroys the Moab layer, I'm sure that is helpful, but because it's an activated ability, you can't really rely on it. You need to just use it sparingly. Or not necessarily that you need to use it sparingly, but that you only can use it sparingly. Plus, when you get into the later rounds, then of course there's tons of Moabs, and you know, unless you build like 50 Moab Maulers, or like the Moab Assassin or whatever, then you're not going to be able to do it. And I think right there I turned off the auto start on the round because I wanted to swap out that monkey village for one that gives camo detection, because you can't, because of the way the monkey village is set up. It's like, in order to do jungle drums, like I wish I could just pause the video right here, but of course the way I'm recording it I can't. In order to get jungle drums and radar scanner, it means you can't reduce the cost of the towers within its range. So it's like, if you want to spend less money on it, then you're either not going to attack as fast as you could, or you're going to have to not be able to detect camo. And it's like, come on guys, like that, it's so weird. It's one of those things where I get that you want to make sure that you're making the right choice and there's that trade-off, but sometimes it, like on the monkey village, it makes the village almost, I don't want to say useless, but it makes it something that I don't want to buy often, because most of its upgrades are specifically for the primary monkeys, which are nice. And obviously I'm trying to focus on just using the primary monkeys here because I'm trying to use the village. But I really like those magic monkeys. The ninja monkey, of course, has always been one of my favorites. The wizard, or the monkey apprentice, while I didn't really like it in Bloom Star Defense 5, it's easily one of my favorite monkeys in this version, because that like arcane mastery, or arcane spike, I think it's called, that does extra damage to Moabs and is just really strong in general. And then oh yeah, and okay, so yeah, round 63 is a couple ceramic lumps. Thankfully those trees right there are part of the hero's ability, and it just eats up balloons like the balloon trap from the Monkey Engineer, which, by the way, Monkey Engineer is not in this game yet. He will probably be in it, maybe. I don't want to, speak on Ninja Kiwi's behalf, of course, because I don't work for them. I don't know what their production schedule is like, but I'm assuming they would like to add more towers into the game over updates. I mean, the game just came out, so there's probably going to be some updates later on. But again, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that the engineer is coming back, because again, now that all the towers have 3 upgrade paths and a 5th tier upgrade, I feel like some of the towers don't really need to be in here. Like the mortar, I don't know how much more the mortar can do that all the other towers don't already do, you know what I mean? But anyways, the 2 new towers, the Drude and the Alchemist. I like the idea of the Drude, like in the concept of a Drude, or Druid, or however you want to pronounce it. In this game, not really that fond of him. I feel like I should explain it more when I'm actually using him, but basically, one thing I do like is they moved my least favorite aspect of the, well, I guess second least favorite aspect of the Monkey Apprentice, the lightning and the whirlwind, specifically the whirlwind. They moved that whole tree and upgrade tree and moved it onto the Drude so that they can use the chain lightning, the whirlwind, and this cool ball lightning effect thing. But I'm not really a fan of knocking the balloons back. I mean, except for the Moab press, because stopping the Moabs from making any progress is fantastic. But But yeah, just in general, I'm not really a big fan of that upgrade tree. The middle path is more of like a support, gets rid of regrows, which is useful, but I kind of just don't really mind the regrows. I don't know if it was more specific to this game or the other game, but I tend to just blow things up right away. Like, I don't tend to worry about the regrow blooms that often. Although, watch, it's probably the regrow blooms that made me have to use a continue on this one or something. But, what was I just gonna say? And then the third tier is more of like a rage, or like that angry squirrel in the special agent, the squirrel in Balloon Squadron 5, where whenever you lost a life, it would like go supercharged. That's kind of the idea behind the last three, or the third upgrade path on the Druid, to where when you lose lives, it attacks faster. While it's attacking, it ramps up speed, kind of like a Gatling gun. And then it just increases speed if there's nearby towers that are the same type, like another Druid of the same upgrade level, I think, that it'll increase attack speed then. And it's like, I get it, and that sounds nice, but there's not as much utility in it, and I can get a lot of popping power and utility, like all these Moab presses and the bomb shooters that have the cluster bombs. Like, I can get more popping power, and yeah, here, that's just a bunch of regrow balloons, and yet, haha, I've destroyed them. What was I gonna say? Basically, yeah, I like the idea of the Druid, and it can be useful sometimes, but I don't really see myself using it very often. On the other hand, the Alchemist, like, all of its upgrade paths are pretty useful in most games. Like, one of its paths increases the stats of nearby towers, like a buff, basically, which, like, just an overall buff, which is awesome. I like to put that near like a super monkey or something, make the super monkey even more awesome, more awesomer. And the middle path is basically like debuffs on the balloons, gets rid of the fortified status, which, you know, I kind of forget about the fortified status because there's nothing specific about it other than like the Alchemist. Like, there's no specific can or can't beat the fortified. It's kind of just general, you need to be better at popping balloons to be able to beat it. And then I lost all my lives right there. Okay, I was gonna say some, but no, all of them. Just because a few camo balloons got by, and I don't really have amazing, well, I was gonna say I don't have amazing camo detection, but all of those towers should be able to detect camo because I have the monkey village. But the thing was that it was just a bunch of tightly clumped balloons, which I didn't, I mean, again, I have all those bomb towers. Tightly clumped balloons shouldn't be that big of an issue. But anyway, so I just threw in a glaive thrower, and like, not fully upgraded, but tier 4 glaive thrower, so that was pretty good. And then some glue gunner, just because I figured that might be useful. You know, because once you slow them down more, it you know, gives you more time to attack them. The glue gunner, I'm gonna completely forget about the Alchemist for a second. The glue gunner is one of the best examples of the opportunity cost. The way that the three upgrade trees are divided, where the top tree is your standard corrosive glue, and then just, you know, balloon liquefier and balloon dissolver or whatever. So of course it makes sense that that's all together. The middle tier is basically if you want to pop more, or not pop, glue more balloons. So like the bigger impact and the glue hose is of course there. But then the third layer is basically what kind of balloons, or like how, like the utility of the glue. Having them glued for longer, having the glue slow them down more, and then being able to glue the Moabs. But of course, the being able to glue Moabs is the third tier of the bottom, so you can't combine Moab gluing with like the balloon liquefier, because that would be awesome, but unfortunately you can't do that. you can use corrosive glue on a balloon, on Moab, I mean. But that's just regular corrosive glue. It's not like amazing corrosive glue. And then of course you can use bloom liquefier on all the balloons, but not Moab's. So anyways, I think that's interesting. It's a really good way of saying, like, okay, do I want to do a lot of damage? Do I want to get all the balloons? Do I want to get most of the balloons? Do I want to get Moabs? And it really makes you think about how you want to use that glue gunner, rather than just, oh, deploy a super monkey and it'll destroy everything no matter what you do to it. Like, and then here, this is actually an issue that, like, not a problem necessarily that I have, but one thing that I that tends to happen is when I have 5 Moab presses, it kind of keeps the ZOMGs away from the map, and all of my towers can't attack it. So, I mean, it's useful because I know I'm safe, and if I had, like, the sniper supply drop or something, I could probably use this to, like, farm supply drops in a sense, by waiting for the cooldown to go down so that I could use more supply drops. But I mean, obviously, I'm sure the cooldown is pretty lengthy for something like that, and you wouldn't necessarily be able to farm it because you're doing damage each time you send the ZOMG back. But anyways, that's why I threw down a sniper monkey, because I'm like, alright, well, if none of my other towers can attack it except a super monkey sometimes, then I might as well use a sniper to take him down. And what was I going to say? I was talking about, oh, the Alchemist. It's really cool because you can debuff Moab basically and get rid of their fortified status and all that. That's really cool. But I don't know, it's kind of iffy if I go to the 3rd stage on that one, because I tend to prefer buffing my own towers rather than debuffing the Moabs. And then the 3rd tier can turn gold, or turn lead balloons into gold, and then it can turn regular balloons into gold to increase how much money you're making, because that's another thing. There's so many more towers that can help you increase how much money you make. Like the Buccaneers can be merchantmen that basically act like mini banana farms to increase how much money you make each round. Like I was just saying, the Alchemist can turn lead balloons into extra money, and then they can turn all balloons, or at least whatever balloons they hit, into more money. Of course, there's banana farms. What else was there? I'm sure there was at least one more tower that increased the amount of money you make. Or, oh, that's right, the Drude. One of its paths, the middle path on its 4th tier upgrade, I believe, allows it to generate 100 cash per banana farm in its radius, which is a nice idea, except you're probably going to use that ability less than once per round. So unless you have like 8 banana farms around you, like, it's not going to be that effective. I feel like if that Drude also had the ability to farm bananas for you, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. But then probably, you know, overpowered or something. And you may have noticed my Super Monkey is now the Dark Knight. Because I would actually want to call it the Dark Knight, because that makes more sense, but obviously, or at least I'm pretty sure they didn't go with that. Pretty sure I didn't misread Dart as Dark. But anyways, what I really like about that upgrade path is the knockback effect. So where it knocks back balloons and Moabs away from the end of the track or whatever. I'm actually not sure. Like, I can't really see it happening on the ZOMG. Obviously, that's the Moab press that's stopping the ZOMG. Is not the whatchamacallit, the Super Monkey. But especially when you upgrade it to the Dark Champion, it gets, of course, much better. And I know I used Sandbox to test the 5th tier of that upgrade, but I don't really remember it, like, impressing me. Like, I don't remember it being super awesome. So maybe I just, like, I'm missing something? Like, maybe there's, like, a condition where it's awesome rather than just always or something? I don't know. If any of you know about the 5th tier of the Dark Knight Super Monkey, feel free to let me know how that works. Because, yeah, I do have most of the 5th tier upgrades on all of the towers, but I don't think I have all of them. Especially the like Spike Factory, I almost never use. The Banana Farm, I don't use very often. The Monkey Village, I don't use very often. I think I have all of the 5th tier for the Monkey Ace and the Helipilot. That's because I specifically used them because I wanted to get the 5th tier, just to test them out on like Sandbox or whatever. Yeah, but I'm sure there's still a few more 5th tiers that I haven't been able to use. And then the Dark Dirigible Titans, the DDTs. They're camouflage balloons that are also lead and fast as pinks, but also as healthy as Moabs or whatever. So they're quite powerful. Especially if you don't have any camo detection, then yeah, obviously they're just gonna wipe right through you. The Super Monkey, thankfully, now has an upgrade to allow it to see camo balloons, and I realized, like, oh hey, these snipers, they don't have camo detection, and oh, would you look at that? That's just a bunch of ceramics, and I'm just gonna continue anyways, because I'm so close to the end, I might as well just continue, but then I stop and I think, I don't have that much money, and I don't know how to upgrade this, like, I don't know what I did wrong. So I was like, nah, Spike Factory? No, I don't think so. Attack Tower, yeah, that's the best. That was just the best idea that I could come up with however much money I had, because that overdrive is really cool. It is a cool move, especially the 5th tier on that one. It's nice, but I mean, honestly at this point I don't remember what I was thinking. Like, I don't know why I thought Attack Towers would be my best bet. I mean, maybe another glue gunner near the end would have helped, or like a balloon impact near the end, or something. I don't know. Let's see, because even now I don't remember how this one goes. A lot of Moabs. I almost wish I had changed my snipers to target the first balloon rather than the strongest. That might have actually helped here, because then I wouldn't be just throwing more and more Moabs at myself, because then just all those ceramics rush in. So yeah, again, I was on my lunch break. Alright. Yeah. So that's the episode. I didn't even make it. I didn't even beat the level. But, I don't even know. I guess it's just going to be a blank screen. I don't know. We'll see. If you guys have any suggestions on how I should do this series, because obviously I can't guarantee that I'll win, especially not without continues. I'm probably never going to beat Chimps Mode. Would you guys want to see me just play it on hard? Maybe even on easy? Do you want me to just do like a showcase of different towers? What do you guys think? I'll probably try to record me beating that stage on Impoppable again, like actually beating it. And I'll try to use magic monkeys more, because primary monkeys clearly are inferior. But anyways, any and all feedback would be very appreciated. And that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.